A developing story out of Virginia Beach. A firefighter is suing the city.
He says he stepped up to work during some of the biggest national disasters, but was not properly paid for that. 13 News Now reporter Jacqueline Lee looked into the lawsuit. And Jacqueline, this involves work with Virginia Task Force 2?
That's right, Janet. And while the lawsuit has one plaintiff, I'm told that firefighter is actually representing more than 70 of those FEMA team members.
They're on duty 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Anytime there's a crisis, FEMA Virginia Task Force 2 responds.
It's an important issue for them. What they've seen and what they've done is incredible, and there's no reason why their pay should be improperly calculated once they get home to safety.
You heard right. Getting properly paid is a problem for members of the task force, according to attorney Mike Imprevento. He explained FEMA members essentially have two jobs, federal and local. In a recently filed federal lawsuit, the city of Virginia Beach is failing to pay its portion.
It is amazing to me and frustrating that the guys on the FEMA team have to resort to going to federal court because they can't get a straight answer.
Bill Bailey is president of the Virginia Beach Firefighters organization. He said for years, firefighters who raised the issue to the city are consistently ignored, so they had no choice but to turn to a federal lawsuit.
Having to resort to that shows you the frustration level they've reached and the seriousness of the problem.
The lawsuit says firefighter Greg Vogel was only paid 152 hours of his 192-hour total deployment in response to Hurricane Joaquin. The city refused to pay the plaintiffs for his first 40 hours of deployment because it was a wash.
The final word from the city is we're going to do it this way. We think we're right. You think you're right. Okay, that's what courts are for.
Imprevento said the court's ruling will affect multiple jurisdictions, not just Virginia Beach. I reached out to the city, and a spokesperson said they have not yet been served with a lawsuit, so they do not have a comment at this time. Live in studio, Jacqueline Lee, 13 News Now.